Let's talk about hurricane recovery. Every time there's a hurricane, every time there's a natural disaster, there's the I was going to say obligatory, but I don't think it's obligatory. I think UM News genuinely rejoices in the work of disaster recovery that our denomination does. I think
The United Methodist Committee on Relief is the
yeah,
best thing we do.
UMCOR, well, and as our
a
denomination has split
denomination,
apart
yeah.
more and more
Yeah.
ideologically, the one thing we come together on still is mission. And so UMCOR is given top-notch rankings by everyone who watches, who does this stuff. I sent you this John Stossel report he did on hurricane recovery and false information that gets promoted, one of which being that the federal government is not actually very effective in disaster recovery, but nonprofits like UMCOR do an excellent job.
Well, I would say, one of the things I felt the government did right in Katrina recovery, at least in the Alabama area, was UMCOR was designated as the main agency,
Right, when FEMA couldn't come through. Yeah.
through which the government and all other, I sent mission teams. We went a couple times to Alabama. I've done mission work in Kansas, Greensburg, Kansas, after the tornado, and yeah, I mean. If you're waiting on a federal bureaucracy or a state bureaucracy to come through, well, you're going to be waiting a while. It does seem, the Baptist Relief Organization, they're usually there 30 minutes before the storm hit. It seems like,
Yeah.
and they're real good at the front end of getting there on the ground. And UMCOR, I think where we reign, or I don't know, reign's the right word, but where we
Flourish.
Flourish
Show off.
is in the long term
follow through
and the follow through, and that we're not there for weeks or months. I mean, we're there for years at times to make sure that everything, that is one of the things on the and the way it's funded, it's not.
Yeah, and I pulled up the page here through UMCOR. We have what's called advance giving, and there's a different number for each advance purpose. But the number for hurricane recovery is 901-670, according to the GBGM thing. And I just noticed even the conservative liberal divide is resulting in other answers. This is a mailing from the WCA, and of course the WCA is huge in Florida. Yeah. That's where 106 churches have individually filed suit against the bishop and the conference. And so they point to the UMCOR advance here, 901-670. I think that's the exact same one, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, that's
But then they also allow you to give directly to churches so that they can do their work as well. The WCA Florida is doing that. And then,
and with the United Methodist Committee on Relief, 100% of those dollars are going to go right into that recovery. Their administration is covered by
our apportionments.
By special the 1 great hour sharing special offering.
Is that's okay? It doesn't come out of our apportionments.
They do not have apportionment funding. Yeah,
well, that's impressive, isn't it?
Yeah. And so it may be that they may be one of the most efficient general agencies of the church because of the way we fund them.
Right, yeah. That's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, hurricane recovery, I read this book a few years ago that rocked my world called When Helping Hurts. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but they talk about disaster relief being one of the ways in which we often come into an area and with good intentions do more harm than good. And there is a way to do disaster relief that UMCOR is actually part of the solution on, which is that long-term follow-through care. So that's something for us to feel good
I've read the book When Helping Hurts, and have tried to base my benevolence at the local church based on some of those principles too. And I'm actually trained in a budget program that the same authors created.
Oh, cool! Really?
But for
helping without hurting.
Yeah.
Or
I can't think of the name. I've lost it, but it's their financial
Chalmers Center.
Yeah, the Chalmers Center. Their financial training for low income.
I didn't know you were trained in that. I haven't known another pastor, Methodist pastor, who did that.
In fact, remember I told you I visited this church before. I actually came up here for a reading group in the district where we were reading When Helping Hurts together.
Oh, cool!
But,
I didn't know y'all did that.
Yeah, that was when districts had names after cities, and they're not